Is up, y'all? Welcome back to episode 67 of That's No Moon Pod. Sorry for getting this one out a little later than I normally would. Was kind of feeling pretty sick these past couple of days. Was dealing with a pretty bad migraine. Could barely even speak, to be honest. But I'm kind of glad it happened that way because just within these past few days, quite a bit's happened, to be honest. Um, we had episodes 10 and 11 season 3 of the Bad Batch drop. We had episode 4 of X-Men 97. We also got some pretty big news regarding Silver Surfer in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. And out of nowhere, we got a trailer for a brand new animated series from Star Wars, Tales of the Empire, dropping on May the 4th. So, a whole lot to talk about. I guess we'll just start off with X-Men 97. Episode 4. I like this episode. Definitely wasn't the best of the season so far. It's kind of like a two-parter, two different stories. First part followed Jubilee and what's his name? Is it Sunspot? They're kind of it's Jubilee's birthday, and she just wants to play video games and chill. And they end up getting put into a video game by, is it Mojo, I believe? And they're kind of playing this whole deal where if you die in the video game, you die in real life type deal, and the only way to escape is to win the game, pretty much. And I dug this first half of the episode for sure. I'd say the most out of the second part. Um, cool visuals. I like the nice callbacks to the OG arcade X-Men games. Just really had that retro vibe to it. Um, the pacing was really nice. It was just a cool, fun story that us following Jubilee and kind of seeing her get to use her powers and seeing the future version of her in the video game. Um, yeah, it was just a fun, cool first part of the episode, and then the second half we get back to Storm and Forge, and they're chilling at Forge's cabin or whatever, and Storm's still trying to deal with the whole, not being able to use her powers and whatnot, and Forge is trying to help her, try to figure things out, try to figure out some way that he can help. Um, and it had like this cool element to it, to where you don't really know what's gonna happen. Um, some things go down. Forge pretty much confesses his love for her. Um, and then we get that crazy scene with the owl. And I know this particular story is a specific run within the comic books. I'm not too familiar with the story, to be honest, but I do know that it is out there. And this whole thing with like this evil owl and it kind of being a different version or like an evil version of Storm in a way. I'm sure it's going to have something to do with her eventually being able to get her powers back. I just kind of felt like I wouldn't say the pacing or the tone, just kind of felt a little odd for them to be put together as one episode. I feel like it could have been at least, one full episode of the Jubilee video game story, and then another full episode of this Forge and Storm story. So I kind of wish they would have done at least just two separate episodes instead of kind of just combining them both together. But for what it was, the show is still awesome. I'm really digging it so far. And from where we left off, um, really interested to see what exactly happens next with Storm and Forge. Because again, we need Storm back. We need Storm with her um, Omega abilities and all that. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next for sure. Um, the Bad Batch season 3, man. Again, this has easily been the best season of the Bad Batch so far, and we get 2 episodes this time, and you kind of see why. Kind of from what I was saying with this past X-Men 97 episode, to where the first episode or episode 10 of the Bad Batch, not a whole lot of action, obviously, but just really gets in depth on what's going on the island where they're doing all the experiments on the kids with the high M count and them just trying to complete the whole Project Necromancer. And then you get that doctor to where she kind of pretty much takes over from where Nala Se was. Um, and you could see how she has like a heart the whole time. She never hated, anybody that was getting tested on. You could tell she had feelings for Omega. She cared about her when she was there. And she knows what's going on in the facility is wrong. And she kind of has her hands tied behind her back because, if she slips up, she knows it's over for her. And she doesn't want to happen with Nala Se happen to her. But you kind of still see that she's going to eventually do something to try to help everyone out to escape. Um, but just like a really down episode in terms of just the feeling of it you get from when you see the little kid at the beginning who has these force abilities, and then the guy snitches on him and calls Cad Bane of all people to come and swoop up this kid and take him over to the facility where they do the testings on the M count kids. It was a cool surprise to see Cad Bane pop up in the Bad Batch. It's always cool to see Cad Bane. Easily one of the coolest characters ever, to be honest, in Star Wars. Um, but yeah, just like the tone of it, um, the writing of this whole series has just been so on point. It's crazy how well done the writing has been for this animated show compared to previous live action Star Wars shows that we've gotten. It's completely night and day, and they do it in such a small amount of runtime as well, packing it in this 20 something minute long episode. But you still feel for all these characters. You can feel the emotion. The music is just always on point, making it feel that much more somber. Um, but I'm really interested to see kind of what happens next, because from what we see in the next episode, episode 11, we get back with the Batch and Omega, and that one particular, I guess, bounty hunter, clone, or whatever, gets sent to go find them, and he's pretty much trying to make up from what he couldn't do a few episodes ago from capturing Omega. But this time, he pretty much gets it done right. He takes out Wrecker, knocks him out, and calls in the reinforcements to pretty much surround the Batch from escaping the island. And there's pretty much no way out, nowhere to go. So Omega, the character development that she's had throughout the series, and in particular this season for sure, she's stepped into this role to where she's not just this damsel in distress. She's pretty much calling a lot of the shots in terms of what she wants to do with her life, and she's being smart about it. She's aware that the Empire isn't going to stop looking for her. So the only option, the best option, is for her to pretty much give herself up and let them capture her and take her back to the island to do testing on her. And of course, her telling Crosshair this, he's not down with it because Crosshair doesn't want to lose her. She's, created this bond between her and Crosshair in particular in this season. And she also knows that, again, the only way out without anyone else getting hurt on the island is that she lets herself be captured. And they go through this whole ordeal, and she gets taken, and Crosshair is trying to put this tracker on the ship on the bounty hunter before they take off. And right as soon as they take off, he makes the shot, but he misses. And I just thought that was such a big moment in the show, showing that, not only is Crosshair still dealing with his whole ability to not be able to shoot and, make these shots like he normally would, but it's setting up a lot to where we know that they're going to go and look for her and find her. And you get this small moment to where Omega's in the ship right before they take off, and she kind of does like her whole like meditation deal. And I don't know if that could possibly be a way for her to communicate with Asajj Ventress, or possibly pretty much anybody who's force sensitive around the area, to kind of help come and look for her. But I kind of think that's what that was. Um, I'm glad they didn't like make her kind of, just all of a sudden out of nowhere use the force or anything like that. They made it like nice and subtle, something that you saw that was there, but it's kind of setting up what's probably going to happen in the later episodes, because I think there's only like, I want to say like 3 or 4 episodes left, so they're going to start wrapping up the series here pretty soon. Um, I don't want the show to end. This is easily, again, one of the best things that Disney Star Wars has put out in a while. Um, Still trying to figure out who that bounty hunter clone is that they're sending out to go find Omega, capture her. Some people are saying it's like a Crosshair clone. Some people are saying that it could be Tech. Um, I'm sure we'll find out here pretty soon, but it's the fact that they're still, leaving things out there for us to kind of theorize and just talk about until the next episode drops. Again, it's just something that this whole show has done so well, this whole series, and especially this season. Um, I'm stoked for next week. I can't wait. Um, and yeah, speaking of Star Wars, it kind of seems like we have a little bit of momentum going. I mean, if you're into the Bad Batch right now, um, and then you see what got released today with the Tales of the Empire trailer, um, this show looks awesome. You get pretty much everything that the Bad Batch does well, except this time it's following the bad guys. And we're getting Inquisitors, lightsabers, General Grievous is in it. Morgan Elsbeth kind of just following kind of how she becomes who she is. Um, we're gonna get some cool just training with the dark side with the Grand Inquisitor. Um, we see that shot at the end with Vader walking in, pretty much gonna be training all these Inquisitors. So it's gonna be following like this cool storyline of a just a viewpoint that we haven't gotten a whole lot of in Star Wars, and I think it's something that um, a lot of people have been asking for. To be honest, is just this viewpoint of the galaxy that's not from the good guys. You know, Tarkin, um, you know, just these elements of Star Wars that a lot of people are fans of, and for whatever reason, they're just not pumping out these stories that I think, again, a lot of people want to see. Everyone wants to see a lot of lightsabers, and everyone wants to see more Sith or dark side users. Instead of just always kind of following the same old tropes of the good guy, um, running away from the bad guys, pretty much. Um, but if you haven't seen the trailer yet, definitely go check it out. Tales of the Empire dropping on May the 4th. So that's right around the corner next month. I think it's a 6-part series. So pretty much right as soon as the Bad Batch ends, we're going to be getting Tales of the Empire, which I'm super stoked for. It's going to kind of soften the blow of once the Bad Batch wraps up. But yeah, we kind of got a little bit of momentum going a little with Star Wars now. Once the trailer dropped, I'm like, okay, if the Bad Batch sticks the landing with the series finale, which I'm sure they will, and then that kind of leads us into the whole Tales of the Empire. Um, and if that show is a banger, which it looks real promising that it is, um, we get the Acolyte in June. So if we go from the Bad Batch to Tales of the Empire, and then the Acolyte ends up being a pretty good show as well, we'll start to be on a little bit of a nice pace with Star Wars, leading into the summer and going into Skeleton Crew later in the year. Um, but the other big part or other big news that really dropped this week was definitely this whole story of um, Silver Surfer being cast in the Fantastic Four. And it's not Norrin Rad, but they're going with a female led Silver Surfer. And right away, as soon as that got announced, the discourse is going to start within the comments and just fans in general. Um, I'm not familiar with the actress that's going to be playing Silver Surfer. I know for a little while there was rumors of Anna Taylor Joy possibly playing female version of the Silver Surfer, which when I first heard it, I wasn't opposed to it. Um, I'm a big Norrin Rad fan, the male version of Silver Surfer. But when I heard that they were possibly leaning towards a female version, which I know does exist in comics, it's not like they're just making this up for the hell of it. Um, but the female version, Silver Surfer, definitely isn't as popular or well known as Norrin Rad, the male version, Silver Surfer. So I just kind of thought it was an odd choice to begin with to even considering a female version of Silver Surfer. But I'm also not that surprised that that's kind of what they were going for. The actress uh, Shala Ball, that's the female version of Silver Surfer in the comics. Um, Julia Gardner is the actress playing, or at least has been cast to be the female Silver Surfer. Again, I'm not familiar with her work. From what I heard, she's a great actress. And I mean, just by looking at her, I could see her being, female Silver Surfer. Is it my first choice for them to be doing a female Silver Surfer? No, because again, I'm a big Norrin Rad fan. just like I think a lot of people are. Um, and I don't know if it's the smartest move to be going with the female Silver Surfer right away. I mean, unless they're doing something with the timeline to where she's the Silver Surfer when the Fantastic Four movie takes place, which I believe it takes place in the 60s or 50s, something like that. And then whenever they kind of get brought into our modern day MCU timeline, then that could open things up for us to get Norrin Rad, the male version Silver Surfer, um, which I'm kind of hoping that they do because, I mean, I've talked about this before where right now, Marvel, they don't need to be doing these wild swings with these characters. They've been on shaky ground for a hot second now. And, if I was in the room, I'm thinking, look, we could do a female Silver Surfer, but I think it's a way safer bet for us just to do a male version first, get a Norrin Rat in there, because, again, a lot of people are huge fans of Norrin Rad, Silver Surfer, and people are already pretty excited about that Fantastic Four. And if we get some actor to play Norrin Rad, that's going to get the hype on this movie even more. But when you go in and you cast and you're saying that we're going to do this female version, that's going to just put this discourse already with the movie before it even comes out, because you're going to get the people just that are going to be talking crap, people that are, up in arms on just the fact that there even is going to be a female Silver Surfer. And I'm not saying that, oh, why are they doing a female? Like, why, what's the point of that? I'm just saying because, again, they need these safe bets and they need to get people hyped on the movies and not bashing it before it even comes out. But if you go ahead and just say, okay, we're doing a female version of Silver Surfer, you're already going to be starting this discourse amongst the fans and unnecessarily. And even though she'll probably do a great job, and I think they'll end up working at the end of the day in the movie. It's just the whole deal with them, already stirring up the pot when it didn't need to be stirred up any, you know. Um, but again, I'm sure she's gonna do great. I'm sure it's gonna work for the movie and the timeline that they're telling. I'm hoping we do eventually get a Norrin Rad in the MCU, because I think that's something that the fans will really um, just really want to see, and especially me, to be honest. Um, they're keeping the whole Doctor Doom thing real close to the vest. Still don't know if he's even going to be in the Fantastic Four movie yet, but I'm sure he will. Um, yeah, let me know what y'all think about this whole female version of Fantastic Four. Silver Surfer. Do you like it? Are you excited about it? Do you think it's a mistake? Let me know down below, because, again, a lot of people have a lot of opinions on this, and I'm sure it's going to be a talking point up until the whole movie comes out. But we'll just have to wait and see, y'all. Um, the Joker 2 got an official R-rated rating, releasing in October this year. Um, I'm excited about the movie, but I'm also hesitant about the whole musical deal. Um, I'm not the biggest musical fan, to be honest, and I know there's a lot of people that aren't musical fans as well. But it's just the fact that, again, it's, Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga. The talent surrounding the movie is going to speak for itself. It's just whether or not the whole musical deal, takes us out of it too much. But I think if the fact that they're even going through with this um, gives me some kind of comfort that, they're confident in the story that they want to tell and how they want to tell it. And the fact that it's going to be rated R, I think, speak that much more on their confidence on it. Um, I don't think it's going to make as much money as the first Joker just due to the fact that, it is a musical, sadly. So I do think they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot with that whole deal, but I think it'll still work out at the end of the day. I'm definitely still hyped about it. I'm excited to see it and just seeing how everything plays out between Harley and Joker and the whole Arkham deal. Um, but yeah, let me know what y'all think on everything that's been going on. Crazy past couple of days, to be honest. Again, I'm sorry for getting this one out a little later than usual, but I guess it kind of worked out for the better. You could tell I kind of still feeling a little under the weather due to my voice, but we're still here. We're still pumping out the pod. Um, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on all my socials. Gonna be playing the new Warzone map or the old Warzone map, I guess, but new Call of Duty update. Live streaming on Twitch. Still uploading comic books on my Snapchat and IG. New releases, variant covers, all that. And yeah, until next week, y'all. Y'all stay safe, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Peace.